Robert Cowell has really made a name for himself over the last few years as a brilliant trainer of sprinters. Jawala and Goldream, two horses to have gained Group 1 honours from these stables behind me. There's also a strong Middle Eastern connection amongst his owners, hence why we're here to find out a bit more about a man who has the need for speed. It's probably a question you're sick of answering, but you've sort of been pigeonholed as a sprint trainer. You've even got it on your website as Sprinting to Success. Are you happy with that, or would you prefer to think of yourself as more of an all-rounder?
Probably a bit of an all-rounder, but listen, to be pigeonholed as a sprint trainer is better than to be sort of moderate at everything. So no, we're very lucky to get some decent horses of that calibre, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, but sprinters seem to work for us, and I'd be happy to fill my yard up with some really good quality types of sprinters than any other sort, to be honest with you, because it just seems to work for us at the moment.
Well, I'm sure sprinters benefit from the sort of surroundings we find ourselves in here. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, as you can see around you, lots of paddocks, turnouts, and it's a really nice, healthy environment for the horses, and we like to give them their playtime as well as working hard in the mornings on the gallops.
And you have the best of both worlds, because of course you've got your own gallops, and for a bit of variation you've obviously got Newmarket just down the road.
We do. Newmarket is literally 5 minutes for us in a horse box, so generally a lot of the 2-year-olds may shoot on up there for a couple of mornings exercise if they need something a little extra than that we can give them here. And of course, getting them off this property, although how lovely it is, it's also important for them to see other horses and in different environments as well. So it's good to have it close by.
And numbers wise, you've got about 60. Is that as full as you've been for a while?
Yeah, 60 is our maximum we can take at the moment, and I'm not keen on expanding any further for the time being, because we're quite happy controlling this amount of horses very effectively, and can give them all the attention that they need, and staff wise it works really well.
And one horse who's clearly benefited from that over the last couple of years is Goldream. I mean, it must have been a brilliant day at Royal Ascot.
Yeah, really, really good. I mean, I'm sure most people go to Royal Ascot with a little sense of excitement and a bit of hope, but never the thought that you're going to win something there. But to win the King Stanley was really special, especially as it was our second time. It was almost better for some reason. I don't know why, but it just felt really, really fantastic.
When you went into Royal Ascot relatively unconsidered, but you'd won the Palace House, and that Haydock run was a bit of a write-off, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and we made it quite clear to the general public that we were pretty sure it was just the ground that was the contributing factor for the poor performance, and his training up until that point had been outstanding, so it was a little bit disappointing. But one of his owners, Tom Morley, did mention and point out straight after the race that all the times were very slow that day, and evidently the soft horses had won at Haydock on that day. So we put a line through it, and we were pretty sure that he would run up to his best at Ascot. Whether that was good enough or not, we weren't sure, but we thought he would run to his best.
And do you have him down as a 5 furlong horse now? I mean, he has won over further in the past. Is he just getting quicker with age?
I think he's probably getting quicker with age, noticeably this year, as you can probably tell. But you know, when he was running in listed level and handicapped, 6 furlongs was probably fine. But now that he's gone up a notch, he does have to be at his very, very best, and his very, very best distance now is 5 furlongs. I think if we went up to 6, I don't think he'd be good enough.
And do you see the natural progression for these sprinters through handicaps gives them that sort of toughness that they need when going into group races?
Absolutely, yeah, you couldn't be more right. I really do think they need to be streetwise. It's very difficult for horses to take on older horses in the sprinting division, and unless you've had a few battles yourself and a few scars, you don't tend to win those types of races unless you're very, very, very good.
And bearing that in mind, where do you stand with the new 3-year-old programme? Because you've gone on record as saying that you don't think sprinters are at their best until they're 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the Commonwealth Cup. I think it has a really an interesting aspect to it, and I think it brings a little bit more of an interesting angle to Royal Ascot, and it means that trainers don't have to stretch their horses out all the time, and that's what tends to kill some of them, which is why they lose their form at 3 and get better at 4 and 5 again once we've all realised that they don't stay. So I think it can only be a good thing. Probably will break part of my business a little bit because I can't steal those types of horses from people anymore. But we'll see how we get on. But I do like the Commonwealth Cup. I think it's a good addition.
So if you had one forward enough, you'd push him to get to Royal Ascot as a 3-year-old?
Definitely, yes, 100%, yeah.
And the longevity of your horses is quite famous almost, but Kingsgate Native fits that bill. I mean, he'd just be a fantastic horse to have around the yard.
He is, yeah, and he's still as naughty now as he was when we first got him. He was trying to drop some riders yesterday, which I thought was just unbelievable, really, at the age of 10. But no, he's in great form, and to win a listed race this year, I mean, he was wonderful at Newmarket. He always seems to find that Palace House Stakes to his liking. Whether he's just fresh or whether the ground's just right for him, I don't really know, but he just seems to enjoy that. He loves it. I mean, he'll be turned out here later this afternoon, and yeah, he has his playtime, and I think he enjoys it. So
certainly no signs that he's wanting to hang up his riding boots.
No, not yet. No, he's not wanting to take his racing plates off just yet. But we'll see. Hopefully, the trouble is he's won a listed race now, and he now has to carry penalties in all other races if we carry on in that grade, or we move him up in grade. Whether he's quite good enough to win a bigger race or not, I'm not sure. But he may well be back for the Palace House next year. We'll see.
You've got a strong Middle Eastern influence here regards your owners. Does that make Dubai an important time of year for you?
Well, it does and it doesn't. I like to go anyway. I mean, we started going in about 2005, 2006, and we were immediately on the scoreboard, which was fantastic. I just like everything about Dubai. I like the quality of life out there. I like having a break myself, and the horses really enjoy it. There's nothing better than having a bit of sunshine on your back, especially fillies. Colts come to themselves easier. Geldings do as well. And it's not hard, you train them as hard as you want or as light as you want. We train them nice and lightly out there, and it seems to reward us. But I enjoy it, and I enjoy seeing my owners out there as well, the clients that I have. So it's all a bit social as well.
You were probably the only British trainer, certainly, that went out with a dirt-bred horse in Speedhawk. How did you find the surface, training on it and racing on it, basically?
We didn't train too much on it. We tend to stay to the training track, and that's simply because it's quieter. I find that the main track just can be a bit busy and a bit buzzy. So we tend to keep them to the training track. I felt the dirt was, for this particular horse, the dirt was absolutely fine, but it's a shame he just doesn't quite stay 6 furlongs, especially in the quality of races he was running in. Again, if he was rated 90, he'd probably win 2 or 3 of those 6 furlong races, but in the like I said, in the quality of race he's running in, he just doesn't quite see that 6 out, but he tends to just fade in the last 50 yards.
Does Speedhawk then give you a bit of encouragement that he could fit the bill of getting stronger as he gets older?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he is a really thick-set horse anyway, but it may not be just a physical change in him, it's mental as well. And he's a bit of a baby in his head. I mean, the safest place with Speedhawk around you is being on his back, when he is an absolute animal. So perhaps that side of him will improve. But yeah, we have hopes of going out again anyway.
And any others that you've got in mind at this relatively early stage?
Well, there's a few that just need to up their game slightly, or handicappers. Nothing in the sort of stakes department, but handicappers I'd like to get there. Which I guess a few of them need £5 or £6 extra at the moment. If I can get them to 98 to 100, then they'll go over. There's 2 or 3.
And what did you make of the turf sprints last year? Because I didn't quite get the impression they were as competitive, certainly as many runners as in years gone by.
No, I think you're probably right. So I think it's probably one of the weaker divisions, to be fair. I think a 5 furlong sprint here in a 0 to 95 is equally as competitive as what we saw in Dubai. But I think just because there's a lot of older horses around, I think that's probably the reason why. And you guys need to be sent some 4-year-olds that have just starting to hit the mark and maybe have just been gelded, that need to raise their game and profile. And I think Dubai is the good platform for that. So probably see that this year, I'd have thought.
And we've got the sales obviously between now and then. Would you be busy there, or are you happy with what you've got?
No, we'll be busy. Yeah, I'm trying to. If I could have a team of 5 or 6 to go over, I'd be really happy with that. But equally, 3 or 4 is probably more likely. But yeah, we're keen to buy 1 or 2.